Lady. This is your home for Post Lady Ball basketball game talk, where you get to hear it from the horse's mouth. That's in Maria on the media side, interviewing players and coaches, and also her perspective from the game at the time, as well as a former athlete as myself, former Lady Ball, breaking down what I see, the way that I was brought into the Lady Ball basketball world, which was through Coach Summit's system. So we're excited because we got a win today. Maria, say what up to the people.
What up to the people?
Today, I'm excited because we look pretty good today. But before we fully get started, um, let's make sure we thank our sponsors: Orange Mountain Designs, Blue Water Climate Control, Lexus Hornbuckle Basketball, and also Tennessee Tap House. Big shout out, Maria. So as always, what did you see? You were there. You were able to watch. You could hear things, but also, what did you gather from post game media?
Uh, it was a feel-good game. It's exactly what you want. Everybody played. Everybody scored. Nobody got hurt. Now you go into the holidays on a win. Everybody feels good. Kelly said she's proud of the team. They didn't have much time to prepare. They only confirmed this opponent, late Friday. So they did a short scouting report, and she said that they followed the scouting report. She was happy about that. They only had 10 turnovers. That's a good, and they basically did what they were supposed to do on the floor. At one point, Kelly did that 5-for-5 sub. She clearly was not going to run up the score, and she wanted to get everybody in the game.
Right. I think that she did a great job of getting everybody in the game, getting some experience, playing time experience for those people a little further down on the bench, that will absolutely need to contribute the deeper that the season go and the tougher that the opponent is. So shout out to Coach Kelly, number 14, the number 14, sis, great win today. Who Maria? So you were there, and I saw some good things on defense, but I also see some bad habits that will kind of other teams, and especially in the SEC, will capitalize off of. What are your thoughts on our Tennessee defense tonight? Knowing, I mean, we do understand, like you said, they got the scouting report late, but what are some good things and what are some bad things that you saw?
They're talking more, which I do like that. I can hear them now when I'm courtside. UNC Greensboro could not deal with Tennessee's size, so their basic game plan was to launch deep threes. I don't know how many times I heard their bench counting down the shot clock to let them know there wasn't much time left.
Yeah.
Some things you can get better at is securing defense. Now I will say more defensive rebounds, but also when you take a lot of threes, those are long rebounds, so they sort of go caroming off over the post head. But just a little more sense of urgency on defense that you're going to need to compete at this level. But when you're throwing that many combinations on the floor and playing that many people, it's not always easy to keep that defense totally in sync.
Yeah, that's true. But you did say something when it came to the 3-pointers. Obviously, long shots mean long rebounds, as we know. That's the guard's position. That's now you have to hit and get. You have to be looking at where did this shot come from? Where could it possibly go? And make sure you don't allow them to get the rebound. I mean, bottom line is you need a limit, especially a UNC G, to the minimum amount of O boards as they can get. Like it's just, I think they only had 8, but to me that's 8 too many because they're undersized compared to us, right? And to me, if we're looking at conferences and history and tradition, 8 is too many.
Ironically, UNC Greensboro had a 3-0 series lead over Tennessee because they played in the 1970s when they are AIAW. So Tennessee is now 1-3 against UNC Greensboro.
That's an interesting fact. See, Maria, that's why I love it. You always bring me something new. I love it. So now we got to keep playing them so we can have the win record because I don't like that.
Yeah. And Coach Trina Patterson, I knew she played at Virginia. She played here against Tennessee. I did not know that she was an assistant at Stanford, and she was very appreciative to bring her team to this environment. I mean, she knew it. She'd been here, but she was very appreciative to be able to bring her team in here. She said she missed hearing Rocky Top so much, because the band's not here. So Trina, I mean, shout out to Greensboro they played Friday night, and then they still agreed to drive over here and play this game today. So shout
And
out
they
to the
put
Spartans for coming over.
Yeah, definitely. That says a lot about the girls, the coaching staff, but also the players, like their mental toughness, their will to want to play, want to get better, want to be challenged. I think they handled the challenge pretty well, to be honest. I mean, they had us on our heels. They were getting open shots that I thought that if we had, like you say, a little more sense of urgency on the defensive end, we would have either taken those shots away or made them at least contested. But I give credit to the coaching staff and the players of UNCG for what they brought to the table tonight. Now, on the flip side, for my Lady Vols, these are games, in my opinion, where you're trying to get 100 on the scoreboard. Yes, you want, hey, Maria, you know how I am. I need 100 on the scoreboard. Like, because even if you get to 91, 93, I mean, that's great, right? It's awesome. But that 100, it just gives you that different feeling. Like you're pretty much that night, everything is clicking offensively. Everybody's on point when it comes to the scouting report. Plus, it's just fun.
They got two more non-conference games. Lipscomb comes in December 28th. Lauren Avant, Ariel Massengale on the staff. Be nice to see them back on the summit. And then, of course, they play Connecticut. So if they're going to get that 100 for you, maybe they need to do it in an SEC game. You'd be really happy about that.
Oh my gosh! Yes, yes, definitely. I'll be excited. I really want to try to get to that UConn game. To be honest, I don't know if it's possible, but I definitely want to try. So if y'all anybody at UT is listening to this, any tickets? Okay.
Surely, Lex, there's somebody you can hit up to get you in here.
I really haven't tried, so I'm going to try. That's my goal today and tomorrow, or throughout the week. Try to plan that because I really would love to come down there and be there. And it's just been a while, and that's just a big time game.
That is. I'm sorry it won't be the atmosphere for these players who hadn't played in it before. I mean, you're just not going to have that same atmosphere, but at least you have the game. And I think you remember Dean Lockwood always saying on this game right before you go home for the holidays, you're hearing jingle bells. I noticed several players' families were in the stands. I mean, they're going home right now. They're either getting on planes or getting in cars and they're headed home. So good job by them to focus on a noon tip. Get the win. For the most part, do what you're supposed to do, and then go home for a week.
Yeah, and sometimes, like you said, that break is more than necessary, mentally and physically. Sometimes you just need to detach and breathe and come back to whatever your routine is for your me time, and really rejuvenate your mind, your body, your spirit, and refocus. And now that hunger comes back, the same as when you hadn't played that first game, and that should get us rolling because now there's chemistry starting to be built. People are starting to come through. David's still being on point. I think she pretty much well into what the second, third quarter was 4 for 4. Like she was playing a very efficient game. I would have loved to see Burrell be more efficient in games like this, but it happens. I think she was like 2 for 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and games like this is when you actually put yourself in the running for the all SEC team, and every game matters. But it's also what do you do? How do you lead your team to in games like this as well as the tougher games? Because if they're going to look to you, it has to be in any situation. So I would have loved to see her to come, to the next game or any game of that fact, ready to kill, like Lady Vols, you got to get back to embarrassing people. Like it's fun to embarrass people. That's what made me want to go to the University of Tennessee and play for Coach Summit. And rest in peace, Coach. I miss you. I love you. But when you have a former champion point guard like Kelly Harper, who understands the tradition and the grit and the grind and the system, I'm excited. Like we gotta get back like players. You gotta get hungry. It's okay to embarrass people. I'm saying it live for life. Go have fun. Put 100 on the scoreboard.
They got it. Somehow, so I know some of them have got to be listening. They got to get 100 for you because that's going to bother you all season if they don't.
It is. It is. And I really, to be honest, I know it's COVID, so it kind of sucks. But really, if I could, I would go down there just to, work on some of the players' defense and angles, because a lot of time on our fouls, some of the fouls we're getting is a slight angle change or the direction in which your foot or your hip is facing or not facing. Are you pulling? Are you taking false steps? I mean, there's so many things, like technical things in there with your footwork, that we were blessed to get from Heather Mason, to tighten us up. Heather's like militant, so everything had to be perfect. And I would love to be able to help in that situation. But if you're listening, let's make sure, like, when we're going to stop people from going to the basket, it's not just but being beside them with your hands up. Sacrifice your body, get in front of the person, beat them to the spot, take it in the chest, hands straight up. You don't have to block everything. You know what I mean? Just play for. There's a difference between going helter skelter, trying to get the steals, getting in the passing lane, and just trying to delay and disrupt. And as they grow and mature into knowing when to do which, I think that's when that sense of urgency will also tag along with that.
That's been one really bad thing about COVID-19 is none of the former players can come back and practice with them. And because the current team gets so much out of that when, like,
Yeah,
Tamika Catchings, Candace takes the floor, you take the floor. When somebody comes in here and they see, okay, this is how you have to practice because you guys bring it, from a professional point of view, and it's too bad they can't have that interaction right now with former Lady Vols. That's a big miss.
it is. It's unfortunate, but we understand it's for the safety of the kids. But shoot, I wish I could, like, just to go talk to them and show them, because they're headed in the right direction. I believe that from that first game, even from last year, it's starting to be a different type of Tennessee basketball, which is a good thing.
And it's not easy right now, as you know, because of COVID. And there's a lot of schools of thought about should the kids even go home. And different coaches are
Yeah,
doing different things. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, they're basically in quarantine in college. Not all of these
yeah,
kids' families can afford to come here to see them. Some of these kids haven't seen family in 5, 6 months. Kelly said, we thought about it and we decided we were going to let them go home. Now they're going home with a lot of instructions about making good decisions, not getting
right,
around people you don't know, not being in crowds. So Kelly said they've been very committed to doing what they have to do to get through these COVID protocols. They've been told to follow the same ones at home, and I mean, hopefully,
right,
for most of the kids, it'll just be a great time to sleep in and get some home cooking and get some nice presents and just sort of get a little mental and physical break. Though some of them, like Tamari Key, we were talking to her post game. She said, she's going to stay active. She's going to get out there and do some things. You know what that first
mm,
practice is like after you've been off. So you don't want to be in too much pain
right.
because you haven't done anything for a week when you come back.
Yeah, absolutely. And Key, she's from North Carolina, right? Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to reach out to her moms, man. Maybe Sandra and I can get her in the gym and keep her active and work her out. You know what I mean? She kept herself on the floor today. She was finishing strong. She stepped up today.
Yeah,
And we
she's
needed
my
to see.
MVP because she just got one foul. That's my MVP for the game. Way to go, Tamari. She said she made
Yeah,
a point to stop the silly fouls, the reach
good.
ins or yeah, she made it a point to not get those ticky tacky fouls.
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, you see the difference, like when she's on the court and when she's not. And she was finishing the buckets, the little chippies that when she's not on the floor, we're not very consistent at making those. Um, Yet I'm gonna put the yet in there because I believe our post players are putting in the work to be able to finish anything around the basket or gain that foul. But yo, Tamari Key, yeah, you showed out. So great work today.
And she and Jordan Horston have a really natural connection on the floor, and that's something that just is that just for some reason certain combos can really click, and Jordan seems to know exactly where to get the ball to Tamari, so they've got a good
Yeah,
chemistry out there too. And
absolutely.
Jordan Walker, my God, she's got active hands. That she is
Yeah,
active on defense.
and quick. Yes, and
And I don't
quick.
know if you remember the play. She caught a ball. in the second half from Marta Suarez. I don't know how Marta fit it in there. I don't know how Jordan caught it. She got hit on the head. She swooped around and made the layup, and there wasn't a foul call. I mean, that was just, I'm like, wow, she's got really good hands.
Yeah, that's what we call big time players making big time plays. That's what that is. So shout out, Youngin. I see you. Let's see. Hey, Bobby, do we have anything on the YouTube end? I'm gonna scroll up on Facebook and see what we got. Oh, Terry, you got me? Oh, I'm there. We're there. We're there. We're coming. Thank you. Man, I love
Got
Terry.
you got your tickets?
Terry
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah,
Now
Orange
that
Mountain
we've got,
Design's having 15% off. So
Yep.
they have a new thermal that is absolutely gorgeous. It has the Lady Vols logo. It's blue and orange and gray. They OrangeMountainDesigns.com. They got the best stuff. Just go over there and buy something. Help a small
yeah,
business in COVID-19. And I realize there's a shipping issue now. The post office is absolutely swarmed. So it may not
yeah.
get there by Christmas, but what the heck, buy something you want for yourself and wear it after Christmas.
Not only that, just let people know. People should have a little patience and understanding. Here, listen, I got you something. It's coming. It's in the mail. It's on back order, whatever. But you're not only supporting small businesses, you're also supporting the Lady Vols. Remember, people, they try to take the Lady Vols name away from us. So the more that we can have it shown and the more that it can be out and the bigger we can grow that, then I want to see us get back to where Tennessee football, the men's are on track, the women's basketball on track. I mean, I feel like all of our other sports have kind of been holding their own over the years, up and down. But those three sports, like, we need to get back in it. And so I want to challenge all the people and our fans watching, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, volunteerroadshow.com, whatever it is, support the Lady Vol, support OrangeMountainDesigns.com. It is official gear, official colors. Like, and you're going to go in there and you don't have to scramble through. You can go to, I mean, even if you want other Tennessee volunteer gear, go to volunteerroadshow.com, buy you some Tennessee gear. But when you're looking for specifically Lady Vol gear, you have to go to OrangeMountainDesigns.com or go visit Terry out in Alcoa.
She's got the store open today too. For anybody
Nice.
who's local, go over to Gill Street and Alcoa. There'll be somebody over there. So yeah, we please keep. I know it's hard. I mean, people are struggling in a pandemic, and it's been a tough year. I think everybody's ready to say goodbye to 2020 and start healing in 2021. But yeah, please do all you can for any small business in your community too.
Absolutely. And support small Black businesses too. Thank y'all.
Yes, absolutely. Do that.
hey, I've got an announcement. How about, I don't know if Terry's actually listening still. She was on here earlier, but anybody, the first person that mentions volunteer, they saw this special on Volunteer Roadshow today. Have Terry get their email address, and I'll send them a meal for two at Tennessee Tap House.
Nice.
Anybody that
Excellent.
anybody that mentions Volunteer Roadshow today, give Terry the email address and she'll forward it to me, and I'll get them a meal, 2 entrees. Now, alcoholic beverages are extra, but if you get sweet tea, it's free, especially if you tell them you want the catfish recipe of sweet tea. That's sweet tea now, and it's not no fake sweet tea. It's 2 cups per gallon. It makes McDonald's sweet tea seem like unsweetened. So,
Oh Lord. Diabetes in a straw. Hey, make sure y'all heard it live from Catfish himself. Go support. Go support. I did see somebody asked a question. They said for Jesse and Marta, I'm sure they may not make it home over the holidays. If they can't, any clue how they will spend the break?
I think one time Jessie actually went to New York last year, first time she was here, but she's not going. Obviously, I don't think she's going to fly to New York this time. They
Right.
typically will find a teammate to hang out
Yeah.
with, go to a teammate's house, and so I don't think they're going to be sitting alone in a hotel on Christmas morning. They'll make arrangements for them to be with somebody because obviously they're not going to Australia or Spain right now. I don't
Right.
think. I can't imagine they're going to fly that far and risk the chance of not being able to get back in.
No. I don't foresee that. Yeah, at Lady Vol, it's the Longhorns line never breaks. So it's a sisterhood. The teammates take care of it. The coaches, managers, guarantee they're not going to be by themselves. I agree with you, Maria, on that one. What else we got? Let me see. Somebody said they have to follow the players. Obviously, there's been 3 games messed up due to the pandemic. I mean, you can't follow the players, and they're not professional athletes. They're not used to being away from their family and stuff 5, 6, 7, 8 to 10, 11 months. You don't hit that till you're a little older.
Look, if you're riding home and with your mama in the car and you spend 90% of your break in your house or going places and being safe, I mean, there's a way to do this safely. Now, you hope players don't do anything like go to a packed place without mask but I mean, these kids don't want to be sick. They want to be able to play. They don't want to be the reason a game gets canceled because of contact tracing. So I think they're mature enough to make the right decisions, and I didn't have an issue with them going home. I never even assumed that they would not. I mean, it's a week break, and that just seems depressing to me to keep them on an empty campus for another week without any games. And I know financially not all parents can fly here to see them. They the kid can get home, but they can't. Pat Summitt, as you probably recall, would play Thanksgiving tournaments, but she would never play Christmas Day. And she got asked a million times, and she said, no, my team belongs with their families on Christmas Day. We are not playing Christmas Day. So it's a special holiday. And if you're a college kid, you want to wake up at home on Christmas morning.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, they got to do it. Be smart. It's simple. Be smart. Don't be the one. Don't be the one that ruins it for the whole team or yourself. Like maybe you're the only one. Think about that. And then everybody else did what they were supposed to do. And now you can't play. And we don't want that, ladies. Just stay smart. Be healthy. See your family. Go home. Enjoy your family. Your friends, enjoy your family.
Shout out to Keegan Green. She was here today. I mean, she's walking slow on crutches, but every time there was a timeout, she got off the bench and made her way to the huddle to listen. I mean, that's a big loss, but shout out to her for being here and doing what she can to support her team, because that's a crushing blow for a player to have a season-ending injury like that. I mean, that just emotionally, physically, it puts you in a low place.
Right. No, it does, and I think she handled it well. The bits and pieces, they always cut off the timeouts too soon for me. I like to look at the bench, and we don't get that luxury. But it's good to.
That's why I
hear.
love home games. I can see them; they're right in front of me. So
right there in the action, Ray. I'm jealous.
We got to get you here.
Places one day. We'll swap one day. You can come here and do it from my house, and I'll go to the.
Yeah, this is my view during the game.
Oh yeah, I'm super.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. It makes a bit. I love being able to see it, not just what TV wants to show me. I want to look where I want to look, like who's interacting on the bench and what's going on over here, and
that's how you really get a feel for the game. That's what makes you great at what you do. The attention to detail.
Appreciate that.
Oh, of course. Hey, Catfish, do we have anything on YouTube? Because if not, we can start winding down. Maria, did you have anything else that you wanted to add as we start to wind down?
No, I was just looking at my stats. I mean, Renaya 9 points, Marta Suarez 9, Cassie 13. Good job by Kush Kitawa. She led everybody. Tamari Key 6, Ray Burrell 6, Tess Darby. Shout out to the freshman. She hit 2 3-pointers. What I really love to see is the support on the bench, particularly when some of the players who don't get a lot of time are in the game. When Emily Saunders connected on a shot, I mean, the bench exploded, just so happy for their teammate. That's a good sign to me. You want teammates that are happy for other teammates. I also saw a really unselfish play by Renaya in the second half that I liked. She had an open layup, and she just whipped the ball over to Ray, who was just a little bit more open, and Ray went swooping in for the layup. You'll love this number. They had 23 assists in this game.
I saw that.
That's a lot of assists. So they shared the ball. That was the number that stood out to me is the 10 turnovers, which is a very manageable number. 23 assists. Where can you get better? They had 47 boards, but as you noted, UNC Greensboro had 30. That's too many, and a lot of those were those long threes. So we're not putting it on the post. We're gonna put it on the guards. You got to put a body on somebody. Like Alex Fuller said, find somebody and hit them. That was her advice on
hit and get. So, that's what Pat used to say. Hit and get. Hit them and get the ball.
Hit and get. I love that. To box out, you got to put a body on them. You got to hit them. You don't box out by just sort of standing there.
I hate when they do the arm thing, like the player's just gonna stop. Like,
stop. No, they're gonna go right around you.
Yeah, that reminds me of like the hall monitor in like junior high trying to, man, get out of the way. I'm about to go get some water.
I mean, they're 5-1. Obviously, they'd love to be 6-0 that West Virginia game, but that West Virginia game taught them how to close out the Indiana game too. So at least they learned from it.
It lit a fire, I think, too. Like, hey, we can't just get by. We need to put in extra work here. We need to really figure out what we have to do to be great. I think that was a much needed loss. I hated it, obviously, for multiple reasons, but I think they learned from it, and that's all you can ask for in a game like that. You know what I'm saying?
They 5-1. You feel good. You get a break, and then when you get back, you got Lipscomb, and then you got Texas A&M, Kentucky, and Arkansas. So the newcomers they're about to find out what this really is all about, because it's not Furman and Western Kentucky and ETSU and UNC Greensboro. It's a brawl every night.
The SEC ain't no joke, but I'm going to speak. I'm going to speak it into existence. Our ladies are going to go home. They're going to be responsible. They're going to do what they've been told to do. They're going to continue to work, and then they're going to come back with a different type of hunger. I want to actually see us compete for SEC top ranks. I want to see us do that. It's not impossible, but we, number one, have to believe we can do it, from the start, from top to bottom, and as well as the girls the most. They have to believe it. They have to work for it. They have to want it. But I believe that if they do, we will actually be competing for top ranks in the SEC.
Jordan Horston, she's in a good place right now. When she's in a good place, Tennessee's in a better place. She had 5 assists. She's very active on defense. She's an incredibly unselfish point guard. She is looking to get the ball to the open player. So there's been some really good things that have happened in December. And Tamari Key coming along, I think she's poised for a breakout at some point. And then Jordan Horston getting everything together on the court. Jordan Walker has been a great addition. So there's little pieces that are coming together for him.
Absolutely. Great job, ladies. I see us growing. I see us maturing. My cousin asked, do they have number 14 jerseys like at Orange Mountain Designs? Jay, they do not. I think you would just have to go and like make it really like on however they make their personalized jerseys. But everybody, thank you for tuning in. Again, special shout out to our sponsors, Orange Mountain Designs being number one. Also, Blue Water Climate Control, Lexus Hornbuckle Basketball, and Tennessee Tap House. Maria, also let them know where they can find you and your writing for your post-game thoughts.
Yeah, I'm at GoVols247.com. It's part of the whole 247 network. So just put in GoVols247 or my name and 247 and it all pops up. I put up all the stories on Facebook, Twitter. So yeah, as soon as I leave here, I'll head home and put up a full game story with all the interviews and stats and highlights and everything. So yeah, I promise it's worth the time if you want to read it.
Absolutely. And Catfish, what you got for us, man?
Hey, I wanted to give an update on a couple of things. My son is doing better after his surgery. He had avascular necrosis from all the steroids and his chemo, and he's kicking butt. And number two, I want Volunteer Roadshow to have the biggest, the bestest, and the mostest coverage of Lady Vols athletics and Tennessee Vols athletics, but especially Lady Vols athletics, and we're doing great. Our West Virginia postgame show, the numbers are in. 3,113 people reached, 540 people saw the show, 53 comments. That's our biggest show so far. Share this. Tell everybody about Volunteer Roadshow, Bucking 2MC, the Collective Unfiltered, Billy Ratliff and myself on Friday nights. We've got a lot of shows, but especially the Lady Vols coverage. I want to have the best, and I think we do have the best. We got Maria, great writer, legendary. We got a legendary player. We've got the foundation to have great Lady Vols, and we couldn't have a better sponsor than Orange Mountain Design for our Lady Vols show. Share this, because every dollar Volunteer Roadshow makes in advertising, merchandising, 10% of it goes to Sam Strong to help some family that has a child with leukemia or cancer. So that's all I got to say, ladies. Thank you.
Bobby. And Bobby's the one who wanted Lady Vol coverage on this show. So shout out to Bobby for that. He's an evolved man. We love Bobby.
He is the man. Thank y'all for watching and tuning in. Merry Christmas to y'all. Everybody enjoy the holidays. Be smart, be safe. All right, we love you. Maria, anything you want to say to the people before we hit the holidays?
Be safe out there. Support the Lady Vols. Get behind them. Kelly Harper's got a plan. Believe in it. And as she says, trust the process. It's coming. So hang in there with them. Up and down. They're going to have some down times. We all know it. The SEC is a beast. So get behind this team and let them know you support them and you're behind them.
Absolutely. Until next time, y'all.